First weekend of March Madness is in the books, and if your bracket is already busted, I'm right there with you. I had St. Mary's as a Cinderella story. Dreams were snuffed out. Goodness gracious, already. Joining us to break down some of the highs and lows, CBS Sports' Adam Finkelstein. Adam, good morning. Thanks for hopping on with us.
Thanks for having me.
You know, I went with the strategy of like the underdogs, the Cinderella stories. It's not working out too good.
Not the year. Not the year for that.
Not the year for it. All right, anyone local at Illinois going deep is not happy this morning. We had Brad Underwood's group playing in their 5th straight tournament. They got caught short by Kentucky. Any thoughts on a young team maybe just getting some more experience for a deeper run next year?
Yeah, I mean, I think this was really a Jekyll and Hyde season of sorts for the Illini. I mean, obviously, they really invested in international recruiting in the offseason and delivered with 2 of the most impactful freshmen in the country. But they did have their ups and downs this season, and it looked like they might be peaking at the right time following what was obviously a really disappointing loss to Duke at Madison Square Garden. But coming off that, it seemed like they were starting to play better basketball and trending in the right direction, but just ultimately weren't able to get over the hump against Kentucky. The big question now is going to be who's going to come back. I mean, I think Jonas is certainly headed to the NBA draft. Avicic, I would expect, will probably test the process, but then ultimately, I would say more likely than not return to Illinois next year. So it's going to be interesting to see who else comes back and joins him, because the transfer portal opens today, which means it's basically college basketball free agency starting as of this morning.
All right, and there's lots more to talk about with that, but for time, let's move on to, we talked about good Cinderella stories in the past few years. Quickly, how does Arkansas look as 10 seed heading into next weekend?
It's really counterintuitive, right? That Arkansas is the biggest Cinderella left in the field, beat Bill Self, beat John Calipari, and all of a sudden, John Calipari beat Rick Pitino, I should say, and all of a sudden he's now the biggest Cinderella left in the field. They've got a tough one with Texas Tech, but Florida, the #1 seed who just beat 2-time defending national champion, is really the Goliath hanging out in that bracket, that side of the bracket. So it's going to be interesting to see if John Calipari's got any magic left.
Okay, we'll see. And what teams were most impressive to you? And if you don't believe in jinxing, who do you have going all the way?
So I had Florida as my national champion pick before the tournament began. I will say, though, that I think Duke just looked like the most dominant team in the tournament. The big question coming into the week was whether or not Cooper Flagg was healthy after he missed the ACC tournament with an ankle injury. He does look healthy, and I think that makes them the best team in the tournament. They were certainly the most dominant team in the first week.
So who do you have on upset watch this week? Because this is always the interesting thing, you know?
Well, I'm going to go back to Calipari here because he's got a chance. But to me, I like BYU. Everybody was picking them to lose to VCU in the first round matchup. And I said, hey, I think they can make a run to the Sweet 16. They are there now. And I still think they've got a chance to keep winning. They play with so much space. They play with so much space that they can really score in bunches. And Auburn wants to get up and down. This is going to be a high-scoring contest. And if BYU makes enough shots, I think they could play spoiler in this one.
Do you think that there was a lot of bracket busting going on?
I think that what was counterintuitive is that there weren't really many Cinderellas. We had McNeese, we had Colorado State. Colorado State came within a Derek Queen buzzer beater of getting all the way to the Sweet 16. But to me, the fact that there weren't more Cinderellas is going to make the rest of the tournament that much more exciting, because we've got all the big boys here facing off in a chance to get to San Antonio.
All right, nice. Adam Finkelstein from CBS Sports, thanks again, and good luck with your brackets the rest of the way.